Lydia Ko, gold medalist, Olympian. Man, what a great swing. And today I'm going to show you why she won the Olympics and how simple of a motion she has with so few moving parts. Does that even make sense? So few? Or should I just say, not a lot of moving parts? Whatever. Stick with me today. We're going to learn about how you can try to emulate some of the things she does, because she does very little. And that's probably what we don't do. We do too much, and then we get in trouble. Also, if you do like this, hit that like, share, subscribe. Really helps us grow. And thanks for the most recent support. But let's go take a look at Lydia Ko's majestic, secretive golf swing. So on the screen, Lydia Ko. Now, if you just watch this swing over and over again, it looks so simple. And it looks so simple because it is very simple. And what we're going to look at is how she establishes her angles, carries her angles, doesn't get too fancy. You see the feet aren't flying all over the place. There's very good balance. There's not a lot of aggression in the swing, but there is a lot of conservation of angular momentum. And yes, that's a big phrase, but basically she's just carrying down her angle correctly, utilizing her whole body frame, all of her weight correctly, and she hits it very consistently. She has very good face control because she is basically controlling this swing with her shoulders, what is that? With her shoulders and her chest. So let's just slow this down and take a look at a couple things here. And what we are going to do is, let's pull this back and put some lines. We're going to do a right brace line from this angle. And we are also going to look at the relationship of the shoulders, because she does something really cool I want you to look at. But as we take this club back, and we're going to look at it down the line as well to show you how simple of a motion this is. But as we can see right here where the club is parallel to the ground, look at it, how wide it is and how connected it is. And this is basically what you'll find 99.9% of these guys and girls on television that reach this elite level, they are just connected throughout the majority of their swing, and they don't disconnect like you or I. Most of us disconnect at this point right away, the first couple of feet, but you can already see she's establishing that angle in her wrist, and it doesn't really change that much from this point. So what we're going to do is look at a wrist angle tool, and we get super detailed and high tech here. And this angle here is 142, and let's get to the top right there, and we can see that we have an angle here of 90, what is that, 98. I don't want to touch anything because last time I touched something, the whole screen froze and I had to redo the whole thing. So we're going to keep it at 98. Even though it says 101, it was 98. So we see at this position, she is now at 98 degrees. And let's just take a look at how much she carries that down right till about here. What is her angle now? It is at 110. So she loses about 10 degrees of angle retention from the top of the swing till right before the club gets to parallel. Let's go to one more frame when the club does. You can see it goes in between there. So it's kind of hard to tell, but we can maybe try and get a little law of averages here. So 136, she was at 110. So let's call it, what's the middle of that? 25. Let's call it 122. So she loses 20 degrees by the time the club gets to parallel, which is a phenomenal angle retention. And once she strikes that golf ball, we can see how she returns back to her centeredness, and we will draw that triangle again. And my computer hopefully doesn't freeze on me again. There is that centeredness. So this is the key, right? If you watch this video a couple of days ago, I did about where do you have to be reconnected to, and it's typically by the time your club gets parallel to the ground, you better be connected to the center chest. They do it very well, and they stay connected all the way through. But what you'll also notice is the footwork. Let's back it up and look at the footwork. Do we see a lot of shifting going on? And if we can tell where her shifting is, we draw a Barney Puppo line straight from where the zipper is to the golf ball. We see it's in the center. So as she turns around that right brace line, and we can draw that right brace line in Barney Puppo Jr., we can see there's a slight shift, but as she gets that slight shift, her center of her chest does shift behind the golf ball ever so slightly. It is not a major shift because she is still maintaining this angle here, which is a great spine angle, which is slightly away from your target, and that means that you are moving some weight right to left, but it's not an obscene amount as I've seen some people do. And as she drives down into her left hip's going to drive together with that body, and now take a look. There's the center of her chest again where it was, and it's not going to move from that point. So bam. So she moves slightly back and then slightly forward. She doesn't go back and then all the way forward. Some people go back a little bit and then they lean way too far forward, and that shifts their ball position too far in the back foot, relatively speaking, and they have to get those hands to be fisherman hands. So we get a lot of motion and fishing. Motion and fishing. Motion, well, you get the point. It's just a ridiculous dance I just did there. But what we're going to look at now is let's go to the down the line and see. There we go. Now, this is where it will all start to make much more sense. And for some reason, look at this. There we go. Okay, I got rid of it. All right, so we're going to do this in honor of her gold medal. We're going to put this up in gold. And I know that's yellow, but today it is gold. And we're going to put that spine angle line. Let's just do a quick centeredness check. Arches of the heel, straight up to the sky. Pretty close, pretty connected. So that's a really good starting point. But the key thing I want you to watch here is how she keeps her face angle very relative to her spine angle. This yellow line that's going right through her spine. We're going to keep an eye on this face angle and keep an eye on the spine angle. And this will help you understand how to stop getting so manipulation. You get my point, with the hands and arms. As we take that club back, we can see that this is just a nice, beautiful one-piece takeaway. Look at that riding up that lower plane line perfectly. We can draw a nice, tiny little circle over the hands and the club head. Look at that. Boom. That is ideal. That's what you're looking for. But the key is, where is her face angle relative to her spine angle? Bam. Right there, they're matching. So now all she's done is basically just kept her hands where they were, and she's just turning around. Now as we get to that secondary plane line, where is her face angle to her spine angle? We can see it's shifted ever so slightly open. It hasn't fanned open like a lot of us do. It hasn't shut like some of us do. It is slightly moving open, and that slight move open is because the hands are getting to that secondary plane line, and she has to open up her hand slightly to allow the left side to get a little bit more elasticity released. If she held it together, she'd be stuck. It gets to the point where you just cannot rotate anymore. To help you rotate more, you roll those hands open, and that opens up your left side. Don't believe me? Give it a try. Stand up, roll your hands open, see if it'll help you open your body up more. At the top of the swing, let's take a look at where the club face is. Okay. Now we take a look and we draw where the club face is relative to her. That's a horrible club face. There we go. Relative to her left arm. So most people say you want to get that thing open to the left arm. So for her to get that club to match that left forearm, she would have to open it a lot. It's not open. It's closed to her left forearm, meaning it is more closely connected to her spine. Now, as we take a look going down into impact, look at this first of all. This is just beautiful. This position here. Why is it beautiful? Look how little effort it's going to take for this club to fall in that slot. It's already set there. The thing that will get her in that position is when she drops down, when she starts to increase her tilt and lets the arms pull down naturally. It's already primed for being in the slot. So let's take a look at that. There goes. Look at, she hasn't changed anything. The angle's the same. All she's done is allowed her body and that slow drop of the hands to drop in the slot. Now, look at this. She is boom, right where she needs to be. And we take a look at that club face angle. Boom. and it's fairly open. It's slightly open to her spine. So if this was truly connected to her spine angle, it would be here. So we can see it is slightly open to her spine. Now, as we come on through, take a look here. So she's still in her spine angle, and there is her club face angle. Can you notice it's getting close to where it was on the way back? Very little deviation with the hands and arms. This is all because of body positioning. As she gets right through there, bam! Let's guess what happened. Club face is exactly where it was on the way back. And the only reason she was able to do this was because she is controlling that club head with body positions, not letting the hands and arms take over. Once we get just strike into impact, boom. So you notice how that club head, look at it, square to the spine angle, goes down the line, still square to the spine angle, still square to the spine angle, still square to the spine angle, still square to the spine angle. So what is helping her carry that angle down is the rotation of her body. You notice how her hips are opening up, but her shoulders are square. If she was going to open up her hips with her current position of the club face, that club face will be pointing left. So hopefully that makes sense. So she doesn't have to rely on opening her whole body to square that club face, because some people need that when they open the club face too much on the way back. So now she is truly connected. She strikes the golf ball. Boom! And let's take a look at where that club face is right there. Take a look at that. It is the same. Let's go one more frame behind so we can just make sure. Look at that. It's the exact same. Why? Because she is not trying to control it with the hands and arms. She is just getting more body oriented. And this is a very simple motion, and it creates beautiful repeatability. I think that's the correct way to put that. Beautiful repetition in your golf swing. And even on the way through, we can see, actually, let's go back to here. I want to see on the way through if we can look at where that spine is, where that club face is relative to where she falls through. Let's go right there. Right there. Okay, so let's clean all this up, and let me just show you. So there's her spine angle. Where is her club face in relation to that spine? Slightly open to the spine. Not closed, open. Just shows you that the hands are not involved. People like me with ninja hands, because I have like Barney body that has no rotation. It's like a T-Rex. You have to get those ninja hands involved. After my follow through, my hands are just completely shut. My club face is pointing completely the wrong way. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Hopefully you can see why this is the Olympic gold medalist. And you got to be on the lookout for this lady. She's going to be here for a long time, winning tournaments, winning more medals, putting us to shame, and keeping us out of a job. Because if everybody swung like this, I wouldn't be here. All right. Hope that helps you. See you next time. Fairways and greens.